and welcome to Once Upon a Page. We are starting to branch out, I guess you would say, and bring in some other authors, not because we think you're getting tired of us, but we think it's fun to meet other authors, and we thought you would too. And so today we have with us our friend Candace West, and she is a fellow Scrivenings Press author. She is also a fellow Arkansas girl. So I grew up in several Arkansas towns through the years, but I think she lived like more south, and I was in the northeast quarter. So our paths never crossed until now. But Arkansas, love Arkansas. So she is a minister's wife, right?
Daughter.
I'm sorry. Daughter. Preacher's daughter right here. I should know this. You're a preacher's daughter too. Yes.
Okay.
And she has 2 books already out. She has Steen and Valley of Shadows. I've read both of them and they are both good. So I highly recommend them. Definitely. They're historical romance. Yes. I was trying to find the right category. I knew they were historical, but they do have romance in them too. And then she is about to have a Christmas novella come out with the Mosaic collection, and that is releasing on November 4th. Her story is called A Garland of Grace. And then next year, she has another book coming out called 2 books coming out next year. Dogwood Winter, which goes with Steen and yes. Valley of Shadows. And then you're going to have another novel come out with the Mosaic collection. So that's so exciting. We are very glad to have you here today.
I'm glad to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. So we're just going to sort of take turns asking you some questions, picking your brain so that everybody else can get to know you a little bit more too, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to start. And my first question is, what is something that you need to be able to write?
Quiet. Absolute quiet. And my own writing space. And I've kind of learned to integrate certain types of music because I've heard other writers talk about listening to music when they write, and I've found that helps depending on the type of music. If it's classical or more slow, that helps me. But I've got to have it quiet. If the TV's going and I have a 10-year-old son, if he's running around, I have to get him occupied before I can write. So,
yeah, hear you there. I like using music.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that completely. My kids were the same way, trying to write with 3 roughhousing boys. And so that's when I started writing with music. And I actually started using different types of music depending on what I was writing, like to help set the mood while I was writing.
Mm-hmm. It does help. I find it does help.
So quiet in your own space. And do you have your own space?
I didn't until this year. My usual space was my recliner in my living room, but we added on a room to our house because I homeschool, and so we needed a separate classroom. And so the classroom, which is this room, is also my writing room, and so it works great when I can just shut the door. So when I need to write.
Now that wasn't my actual question. My actual question for you is, what has been the most memorable part of your author journey so far?
I would have to say probably going to the ACFW conference in, I think it was 03 or 04. I can't remember. It's been so long now. And then I met Shannon Taylor Vanatter, which you all know. She's the editor for Scrivenings. And she invited me to the Arkansas ACFW chapter where I got to meet Linda and a lot of the other writers in the group. And from there, I met Kathy Kretzinger at an Arkansas Writers Retreat. So I would say those are some of the highlights of, my writing journey. So just, meeting really nice people along the way. So.
Awesome.
Hopefully she includes us in the really nice people category.
You are.
Retreat together last year.
Yes, and it was a lot of fun. I missed it this year.
Yeah,
Ah.
I mean,
I know. Okay, so if you had 1 month and money was no problem, you could have unlimited funds, where would you go to write?
Prince Edward Island, hands down.
yes. Yeah.
Yes. I would stay there a whole month in a lighthouse. So,
Yes, that sounds like so much fun. Can I go with
Yeah.
you?
yes, you can. We'll write and brainstorm. So, yes, that would be fun.
She has to be alone and it has to be quiet. You absolutely cannot go.
There's probably more than one room in the lighthouse.
Oh, yes, other writers are allowed. Other writers are allowed. So,
So as long as we get to bring memory topper for our mattresses.
yes, yes. The views would probably be so great, though, we wouldn't care.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
All right. Is it my turn again? All right.
Yes.
Fast. Okay. Where do you get your inspiration?
Mostly from my grandparents. Growing up, they always told a lot of stories, and I love stories, and so a lot of family stories were handed down to me. And just also going up into the Ozarks where my grandparents grew up, that inspires my stories. So I would have to say it comes from them, and the Lord too. He helps give me the ideas. So
Yeah.
those two things.
So again, not my real question, but
I don't know if this is allowed, Heather.
it is allowed. It is allowed. I am the host of this meeting according to my computer. So,
Okay.
so are any of the characters or situations actually from then some of the stories that they've told you?
A little bit. The stories themselves are not based on their growing up or anything, but there are incidences in each of the stories that might be something that that inspired something that happened in the book. Sometimes a character's name, or sometimes like Mr. Wallace is actually my grandfather's first name, in the book. And so there are, like in book 1 in Lane Steen, the conversion scene where Lane gets saved. That is actually what happened to my grandpa. So there's, things like that throughout the books that, I change it for fiction, but it's inspired by, things that happened to them.
It's always neat to hear those stories,
Yeah. Yeah. And my great grandmother, my granny's mother, she was her stepmother was extremely mean to her, very physically abusive. And so that inspired Lane Steen's story. Of course, it was Lane's father that was physically abusive to her, but that's where it all started. So,
Well, my actual real question is, what can readers expect when they pick up a book by Candace West?
well, they can expect a romance and probably a historical. And the themes in it will be, anything from brokenness to restoration, grace, and forgiveness. I would say those are the overlying themes of the book. So,
Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, last question. Are there any other books or authors that you've read in the past who've inspired you in your own chosen genre and what you like to write?
I could talk about an hour on that one. The first one is Jeanette Oak. She was the one that when I first started reading Christian fiction, I read hers first. And then Lucy Maud Montgomery, of course,
Yes.
the second one. Louisa May Alcott is one. And I like Julie Klassen. That's more recent for me, but I love the way she writes. And also the same thing with Lisa Wingate. I love the way they write, their style of writing. And so, but the first ones that I mentioned, those are the ones that really got me into loving writing and loving historical fiction. So
Candace and I are like soul sisters.
yes.
She listed some of my favorite authors right there. We want to go to Prince Edward Island. We like the same authors. We're both from Arkansas. I mean,
Yes.
There you go.
I think we need to go to Prince Edward Island and camp out. So
yes.
talk books and writing.
I think you've been replaced, Erin.
I think I lost my rooming buddy.
No, you come with us. You both come with us.
Well, we do want to thank you for joining with us today and allowing us to interview you and let our viewers get to know you a little better. And again, right now she has her 2 books out, Steen and Valley of Shadows. Both of those are available in paperback and ebook. And as a Scribnings author, you can also, if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read them that way. So be sure and check out Steen and Valley of Shadows. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.